Shout Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Blech.
What's up with it, y'all? Man, don't change that down. This your player partner, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that down.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout-out to the livest show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704.
On my mind since last night. Went to bed hungry, all I ate was bread. The white kind, no slice of cheese in the fridge. It's been dark times, started to picture myself in them soup lines. Today's a new day, and this is my time. Put in a little work, I got some things in the pipeline. Cut a deal with Joey for a brick, I'm on my grind. Got my young boy pushing frosted flakes in the lunch line. Came up in the world fast, how it's supposed to be. I came from black, can't go back, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see them looking in the streets, are you opposing me? I might have to gun you down, I feel your jealousy. I'm getting paranoid, lay low for a little bit and write a couple songs, and I'm back on my music shit. It's going great, but the money getting tight again. It's time to pick up the gun and put down the pen. I hit the lowest lows and the highest highs. Life is really just a roller coaster ride. I see my friends go, I watch my friends die. I never feel alone, I'm a Gemini. They need some muscle, a victim balls and a pay they rent. Slap them around a little bit and watch them jet for a couple pence. I'm feeling tense, see a cop, think I'm getting benched. He drove past, but I was shooting if he even flexed. I'm sick of this, I wasn't born to be the bad guy. Dreamed of being Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne, or Hawkeye. It's the curse of the Gemini. Worship the heroes, but root for the villains. Step on the kilos to reach for the ceiling. Get out the mud, but can't hide from my feelings. Since Quicks died, I've been out of my mind. All the doctors said I was borderline, like Danny Torrance getting the shine. The way I experience time, it's non-linear. I can see the future like a new frontier, and the memories fade, but they never disappear. I hit the lowest lows and the highest highs. Life is really just a roller coaster ride. I see my friends go, I watch my friends die. I never feel alone, I'm a Gemini. I hit the lowest lows and the highest highs. Life is really just a roller coaster ride. I see my friends go, I watch my friends die. I never feel alone, I'm a Gemini.
Yeah. Live and direct, Off the Cuff Radio. We at episode 678. I'm your host, King Eric, the Media Assassin. And this show is sponsored by Screwball Radio, Buddy Boy Entertainment, Da Vinci Clothing. Got my host, T-Max, with the facts on the line.
What it do, y'all? Another tremendous Tuesday on the freshest frequency online, Off the Cuff Radio. Shout out to our co-host of Spirit, Eli Samuel H. and Chillin' Dirty Basement Radio boss, DJ Sincere. We are ready to get it rocking. And King, tell everybody who we got tonight.
Yeah. Shout out to our girl MJ for making this connect with us. This guy on the line right now got a new project out called Goblin Town. He's a legendary punkster, author, hip hop artist, engineer. This guy wear all trades, man.
You do everything.
And this guy put some hustle behind his muscle, man. I mean, for reading his resume, I'm saying, man, look, we got a lot to chop it up tonight, man, because you know he has a interesting history coming out the Philadelphia music scene. So it's all welcome, Steve Sxaks from Off the Cuff Radio, episode 678, my man.
Hey, what's going on? Appreciate y'all.
What's going on with you, man? Thank you for joining us.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate MJ. She's dope. So she always gets me on the best stuff.
And you're on one of the best that is, Steve. Like King said, your resume reads like a who's who of greatness and incredible, with a side of spectacular and extraordinary.
I appreciate that. That might be hyping it up a little bit, but no, I appreciate it.
Tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, they call me Steve Sxaks, the man, the myth, the legend, the most beautiful man on earth. Some might know me as the Reed Richards of Philly hip hop. I've been around the world touring in music for the last 20 plus years. It's been my full-time gig, so I'm very fortunate with that. Just wrote a book. I'm gonna shamelessly plug Invasion of the Punk Rockers Who Drink Blood. It's a big boy too. This is a 400-page novel. It ain't no little pamphlet. But nah, yeah, you know, I'm just out. I'm happy to be here. Just dropped this Goblin Town project with my my good friend Skinny Bones the Godfather from the Netherlands. A lot of people know me as the host of the Marston House Cyphers and co-founder of it, which if you're in the know, we're actually coming to a close. This is our 16th year of doing the Marston House Cyphers, and this is the final season of it. So definitely tune in for that. Yeah, I'm all over the place, man. I'm everywhere.
Man, listen, you mentioned punk in terms of, I mean, where do we start at? I mean, the Ramones, I mean, the Misfits.
I got a Misfits tattoo over here or something. You know what I mean? I go back with the punk rock stuff.
Man, that's how I got. Go ahead.
Say shout to Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, man, Lodi, New Jersey, stand up.
That's. I saw one of their reunions they just did a couple years ago, and that was crazy. With original lineup, Glenn was back. That was cool. But no, man, I got my start in punk rock. You know, Philly punk rock scene and the Philly hip hop scene. That's really what I kind of attribute everything to. Punk rock just really spoke to me as a kid, and then once I discovered all this other hip hop that was, you know, it was punk rock lyrics over a beat, like Dead Prez and Sage Francis and all those kind of guys. That really just expanded my musical horizons even more. So I do kind of like walk between all realms of music because I'm also big into soul, and you know, I got a lot of R&B projects out I've done with people. You know, Nina Simone's a huge inspiration on me. I like everything, you know. So yeah, I'm all over the place. If I meet somebody and we can make some cool music together, I don't really care what the genre is, as long as it's dope, I'm cool with it.
Man, when you think about it, Steve, when you look at hip hop and punk rock, they're definitely related in a sense of social commentary and a voice for the disenfranchised and the youth, in terms of people who rail against the systemic oppressions of society, not necessarily race related at times, but class, and about what goes on. And I mean, go ahead.
No, keep going. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
But yeah, I mean, especially when you see punk, that would pretty much go and morph itself into thrash metal. You know, especially when you have, you know, bands like Anthrax. There would be there were, you know, kind of like from that hardcore era. I mean, bands like Biohazard will come later. Shout out to Evan Seinfeld. I mean, Suicidal Tendencies, one of the best ever. Mike Muir and all of them.
Yeah, I love all those bands. I mean, half of everybody you said was on the Judgment Night soundtrack, which was like I don't know if anybody had that on vinyl back in the day, but where they paired up.
Slayer and IC had a song Disorder.
Man, that album is crazy. I love that thing. But I think it still holds up too. I know people think the rap rock thing can be corny, but I like that album a lot. But nah, man, that's really what it is. That's what attracted me so much into hip hop. And that's what my book is about too. It's it's about these kids and they just didn't fit into anywhere into society, they felt like. So they kind of start their own family, they start their own community while they're to help deal with the real world monsters that every kid goes through, like the racism, the sexism, the homophobia, the small-minded, small town, like all that. So every kid in the world has dealt with some of that kind of stuff. And, they deal with it by creating this community. And then there's people preying on the community that's kind of where it comes into. But hip hop and punk rock, they walk the same line, so it's an easy connection. And I think now that with the internet, the music is more connected than ever. And you got people like, Tyler, the Creator, who signs punk rock bands like Trash Talk and takes them on stadium tours. And now you got all these kids who think skateboarding and punk rock is cool and they're into everything. And I like that. I like that, people are more open-minded and it's not as unique as it was to be into like multiple genres. Like people I be meeting, like anytime I'm teaching, and I'll have like 12-year-olds, like I'll be teaching middle school audio engineering classes and I'll have 12-year-olds and their iPods are like, not iPod, now it's just like a Spotify playlist, but it's crazy. It's just like so all over the place. I don't even think I could have comprehended it at that age, before the internet was out like that. So yeah, no, it's really, really, I like where we are as far as the interconnected, part of the music. And I think that it's cool because a lot of people can just like make new stuff, like make new sounds that are different. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool place. I'm rambling, so I don't know if I even answered.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's all right because we know exactly where you're trying to go with it. When you think about it, Steve, when we look at the music scene today and from its nascent beginnings, when you think about music from a perspective of where everything is, you look at how people who felt ostracized and disenfranchised needed a voice. Right. And when we look at the music scene now, it's different. 40, even 30 years ago, there was a certain template that you had in terms of the way that you went in. I mean, whether you were musically talented. And the internet has been around over 30 years, not right. To the level it is now. But back in the day, it was really about word of mouth, and we had the video shows, we had the magazines, whether you read Metal Edge or whether you read the Source magazine. That is how you found out about bands and artists, that were up and coming. But I think when we think about it, I think all of us collectively can say, Steve, is that music back in the day, and not to say some of it doesn't say a lot now for social commentary of urgency and need, but really when you think about it, years ago, artists really had a chip on their shoulder and they would tear up the whole forest to get it out.
That's true. It's a different world. I used to be like that, just selling CDs out the trunk of the Impala, you know what I mean? Or getting records pressed and cassette tapes. We did all that stuff and going on tour. I toured very heavily from like my late teens through like my mid 20s in bands. And yeah, we would DIY merch. I'd have my girlfriend sewing us headbands where she'd cut like a green one and a pink one, sew them together, and spray paint stuff on t-shirts and all that stuff. And we'd sell out of merch like crazy on the road. So it was a really way different thing, but I think there was a lot more money in the music at that point. But now, now I think the money is more so in the merchandise, in the content that you can make. And it's been hard. I feel like as a musician, I've gone through like so many different like adaptions of what the industry has been. And if you can't adapt, I've just seen people fade out. It's like you get so comfortable with the selling CDs or records and all that stuff, and you get comfortable with just actually making money off the music instead of like now you got to make 300 clips of a song or like of 8 bars of a song, 20 different clips of just that part, and go crazy on social media. And it is a hard adaptation, but if you can make the content and you could just kind of flow with where it's going, then you can still, you can still do art.
Yeah, the old saying is adapt or die, and people still want to be involved with that old model, which is, if you can still make it work, but the world is changing real quick.
Bro, you're not lying, man. When we first opened the studio, we opened up 2009. We were getting ready 2008, and that was like the tail end of the analog gear, right? And a lot of like people that we knew were like you had to have analog gear, all this stuff. And so when we first opened, we had a big mixer and all analog, all that stuff. And it wasn't the sound at the time. Like we were getting into the loudness wars. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that era, but there was a lot of people that just came from a lot of people not knowing the technical stuff and just turning everything up because everything sounds better louder. And that was the sound at the time. So you weren't able to achieve it as well in that analog realm. So because it's a digital sound. So we switched it up, went into a hybrid situation, and saw 20 different studios close down that just refused to switch. It's even with like Beats, like Beats are cool for listening, but they're terrible for recording. But you got to have a pair of Beats in the studio because somebody's gonna want to hear the music on some Beats. You got to have whatever the best or whatever the monitors that everybody's listening to. You kind of just have to adapt to it, or your studio is going to close. So I agree with you, man. It's adapt or die in all these fields. If you can't make the switch, you're just going to have to, I don't know, go get an office job or something. That's really all you can do.
Yeah. There's an intrinsic link, absolutely, between growth and evolution. Because evolution will facilitate growth in how you end up adjusting and adapting, like you both said. We look at a time, like you said, King and Steve, with the music industry, because you could sell the merch and everything, and deals were different back in the day in terms of what artists signed. So now we're looking at a situation where 360 deals are pretty much abundant. You can't even sign a label deal without getting them wanting a cut of everything you do.
It's hard because my first deal was a bad deal. My first deal was a major, and when we got signed off a demo we put up on MySpace. And
oh wow, you took it way back. But yeah, shout out to MySpace.
Yeah. But that kind of stuff don't happen no more. You can't just throw music out into the ether and some label head's gonna find it. They're not even looking for you. But
that used to be the cheat code.
It really was. You threw something out there and people were listening, that like somebody's finding you. But our deal that we had, basically they put in all this funding for studio time, merchandise, album printing. They would fly us around to perform, rent a van, rent a driver, rent equipment, all that kind of stuff. And basically it said until we recoup, until they recoup, we got nothing. So I will never see a penny from that first album. That did really well. It's still out being sold. I'll never see a penny from it, but that's okay. It was like I was 17 years old when it came out. We were all so hyped just signing this deal. And it was a great experience. I learned so much about the game from that. I genuinely like messed with all the people who were involved with it. It just was, you learn what you should and shouldn't sign. And I even got in touch with them recently because the album wasn't out on streaming services, but it's out on, like, you could buy it on other things. And I was like, would you guys be in? Because we have through Rob Schwartz at Humag, we got a Sony Orchard deal. And I was like, would you guys be interested in like re-releasing it? We could co-release it, do something. And they were like, nah, not really. So, it's just kind of out there. But yeah, those deals. And now today, the deals, what I've been seeing from kids that are coming through, they're not even like, there's no advances anymore. They're not putting any, you're paying for your own studio time. You're buying your own merch in bulk. Really all they're doing is putting in marketing money. That's it. So it's like, if you're not funding it yourself, then they're not even looking at you.
Man, that advance money used to be life-changing money right there.
I know, man. It's sad though, but now it's like they expect you to kind of be able to finagle all this stuff on your own. So it's a different game, man. The last person I saw with an advance I'm not going to throw them out there, but it was actually the first major label record we recorded at the studio. His advance was $1,500 from Universal.
Ooh.
$1,500, and had to buy all the albums from Universal for $4 a pop. He could sell them for whatever he wanted, but he had to. That was part of the deal, buying the albums from them in bulk, and had to do a forced Best Buy stop to sign albums at Best Buy on tour. It was just a lot. It was a lot in there for $1,500. You know what I mean? But that's what it is now. You kind of got to, if you want the label thing, you got to play ball with their stipulations, because they own stock. All the big labels own most of the streaming services. Like, they got the stock in that stuff, so it's like they don't even need you. They're making money off you whether you sign to them or not, and you're making. It takes like 9 streams to make a penny, or 12 streams to make a penny on Spotify. So I mean, they don't really need you, but I genuinely think in today's day, if you're able to work it out on your own, you're gonna make a lot more money than you would, going and messing with some of these people. Yeah. Unless you're like, a Drake or something, like up at that, you're just getting millions of streams. It's a different story.
Yeah. A shameless plug for those that have not heard that show we did with Young Con and Dawn some years back. One of our best shows we did. Shout out to him, brother from Kansas City. He broke down the mathematics from all the streaming. We're still in all. We did that show damn near about 7-8 years ago, and we're still in all how he broke those numbers down.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Because this is the thing. And when you said MySpace, I started grinning, because even though he gets a lot of grief, and rightfully so, for a lot of, sissy shit he does, Drake was part of that internet way back in MySpace, in terms of what he was doing back in the day, and he was legitimately moving. So it was a time where you were able to get your stuff out independently, and you were just hoping people would listen. When we think about it now, from what your experiences were, you do not sound like a man that is bitter. You sound like somebody that understood the lesson and moved on with optimism and perseverance. What do artists have to understand in terms of how important it is to have the proper legal representation and to have an outline business-wise plan of what they're trying to accomplish?
It's huge, and this is what I'm even though I am still working on my music a lot, for over the years I also got into managing a lot of younger artists. So I have a few that I manage, and one, Ewan, who's about to go on his second European tour, and we've gotten a lot of motion with him, but it's because we sit down together and make a plan. Like, you make the plan, make the schedule, do all that stuff. That stuff's important, man. Like, and legal representation, I had him get a lawyer immediately. I tried to get him my lawyer, but he was too booked up, not taking more clients, and he recommended a colleague, and she was great. So it's like, you have to have somebody, no matter what you think you're signing. It's even if you might have a master's degree in English, and you know what I mean, like you're really like,
and you're not ready for those contracts where you see that pay.
You're not ready for them. Like, there's stuff that they sneak in there that's so clever, and just and I've been looking at contracts for years now. Like I said, like, I got my partnership agreement, I got I got tons of different contracts we've been involved in, and even still I'm having somebody look over everything. Like, I'm not ever, like you said, like, I learned the lesson, moved on from it, but I'm never getting played again in a contract. You know what I mean? Like, that's not for me. And I got kids, so you can't do that. But no, it's important. It's important to be, I think, and I struggled with this too a lot, like wanting to be real, just wanting to be too real, wanting to be like not a sellout, want all that stuff, being a younger kid. Like, I never wanted to sell out, and I want to just be like, ultra real. But if that's how you just never make it. You got to come with a level of professionalism in this game. And that's really what it is. You got to just bring a level of professionalism. You got to have your lawyer. You got to have a PR agent. You got to have different tiered PR agents. You got to have somebody who's, booking you on podcasts and radio shows and hitting the blogs. Somebody who's reaching out to content creators and somebody who's reaching out to magazines and somebody, you know what I mean? You just got to have a whole team behind you, and you can't do that if you're just trying to be too real. It just doesn't work. It's kind of like a contradiction.
It is. I think what people have to understand is this. What the music you make is an authentic representation of yourself, but your common sense should always supersede the music that you make.
Right.
Because the authenticity can be fine, but if you're not advancing because of it, I won't put these individuals out there, but this is one of the greatest groups ever. I personally know their former manager, and he talked about how they would have issues, especially with one of them having alcohol issues, and how he would have to be there to manage all their stuff. And those who are listening and know what I'm saying and certain elements of what I'm mentioning, they'll probably know who I'm speaking on. There's no disrespect to them, but it's just in terms of understanding that this is your livelihood, you have to take it seriously, because when you're in those corporate rooms and you are negotiating, when you are telling them why you deserve their money, they want to know that you're about your business in terms of, okay, this is an investment that we are going to be comfortable with, that you're not going to go to jail. You're not going to get out there and have bad publicity in terms of some crazy ass shit you shouldn't be doing. And that more importantly, that you respect everybody in the room enough to understand what you all are trying to accomplish together and not you as an individual.
I agree. I mean, you got, if you got to, and look, I'm not going to lie, in my younger days, I messed up plenty of opportunities doing just, you know, the road life. You know, we'd want to like throw, we almost got left. Our tour that we were on, the van and all the rest of the bands on the tour, they left us. We got left in LA because we wanted to go party, and we were getting tattoos at this house party basement, and everybody in the band was getting a matching tattoo. And thankfully, the dude who didn't even speak English that was doing our tattoos drove us to freaking San Francisco, like, because they left us. But and the tour manager was mad. Like, that was not a good look. So I've had plenty, but you got to get that kind of stuff out early, right? Like,
right.
If I think that you kind of come to a realization that, like, it doesn't always have to be a party. It doesn't have to always be something. It's like you're making money, and these people are paying you, you know. And honestly, just being honest about it, like, we ended up getting dropped by the label. I want to say maybe a year after that tour, and we were selling. That was the crazy. Like, when they pressed 500 copies of our first record, we had a week-long tour with a band called Broken Frequency. We got the records in the mail, went on tour, sold out of them on the tour. And now we're about to go on a huge tour, like all the West Coast, a little bit of the Midwest, and we're going to be gone for a long time. And we're like, we're out of records. Like, can you get more? And they're like, no more records. I'm like, oh, great. And it's selling though. Like, why not get more? So we didn't understand like what the problem was. And now we're bootlegging we went to Blockbuster when they were closing down and broke in and stole all these boxes of just the black DVD cases. And we printed up this bootleg cover. And then we just basically bootlegged our own album, brought all that with us on tour, and then got in trouble for that because we weren't supposed to do that either. And it was just like, but you know, you just keep making these mistakes, and you got to, you know, it led us to getting dropped. And then once you've done that major kind of touring, and then you go out back on your own doing it independent, man, that stuff is yeah, we didn't make it too much longer as a band after that, just because we're fighting, you know, we're all this money we were getting. Each member of the band was getting $100 a day for whatever, plus meals, plus room and board. Now we're back on our own, and we're like sleeping at people we've met's house on the road, and you know, the pay is a lot lighter. We're not all getting a stipend. We got to pay for our own food, and so the tension gets higher and higher. And reflecting on it, it's like we really like messed up this opportunity. But I think a lot of people would have just like gave up at that point. But I don't know. I just never. I'm somebody who likes to learn and just keep pushing forward.
When we look at it today, Steve.
Yeah, I was saying.
Go ahead, King.
That's that's a trip of how they really own your art like that. Because if you want the bootleg it, I'm like, that's your art. Like, you know, I put the money down. I put the blood, sweat, and tears behind writing the lyrics, and paying the engineer and the music. Like, I should be able to do what I want to do. But that's the tricky part about these contracts.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they ended up taking cuts off the bootlegs because that wasn't part of, you know, that we weren't allowed to do that. But we were trying to make money. All the rest of the merch we got to keep 100% of. And we always had crazy merch. Like, we would have like pillows and like really random stuff. My girlfriend at the time was sewing all this stuff by hand, and we had really cool stuff. But man, yeah, the bootleg CDs, I still have like a couple of them. They're fun, but it was, like I said, it's an experience. They really can own everything about you if you just, you know, put your name on that line. And there's no limit to it. It's in perpetuity. Like I said, they're collecting whatever till that thing's paid off.
Man, listen, when we think about what happened with Prince years ago, and shout out to my brother King for that extraordinarily incredible, you know, history piece he wrote about Prince fighting with Warner Brothers for his name. Mm-hmm. And you figure Prince fought with Warner Brothers for what, like 3-4 years to get his name, because it was an issue about they owned his name, and you know, but Prince was pretty much able to kind of go around it, obviously, number one, changing it, and then number two, he was the franchise. He wrote, composed, right, produced, performed. So he was making money to where he could fund those legal fees to, you know, take care of that whole situation. When we look at the game today, Steve, when we look at music, and especially hip hop specifically, there are two elements of it. One is the maturity factor, and number two, the talent factor. And a lot of times it's the charisma that supersedes talent, because it's about what you can present that everybody will gravitate to. But then it's also the fact of maturity wise, are you ready to handle the celebrity because of the internet age, how instantaneous it becomes? Please give us your thought on that.
Yeah, I mean, the maturity is huge, right? When I was younger, especially just speaking on hip hop specifically, in Philadelphia at the time, early 2000s, there wasn't a bunch of like white dudes rapping. So I was one of a handful, and it was an anomaly. So I'd be at a show, and instantly I'm getting a ton of attention for it, right? So it's like my ego was crazy. And I also was in insane shape, and you couldn't have told me I wasn't God's gift. So especially the women, you know what I mean? It was just like, I'm God's gift out here. I'm taking my shirt off every single show I'm doing, and I would get a ton of attention. And that being immature, it messed up a ton of opportunities. Like, you know, I'd be getting booked for stuff and mess around with the promoter or something like that. That would just ruin an opportunity, ruin relationships. And I think that as you get older and you kind of see like some of the stupid stuff that you do when you're younger, it's just not worth it. It's, you know what I mean? Like that, you're literally taking food off your own plate just for a few minutes of a good time. So as you get older and your ego, I mean, it never goes away fully, but you know, life might knock you around a little bit. You get a little humbler, that you're able to kind of process things a little bit more, and you can handle the attention without being self-destructive, right? So the maturity is a huge factor. Talent-wise, today, I don't think talent matters near as much as I think it used to, because, you know, I grew up with, I mean, in my favorite MCs of all time, you know, I love Sean Price. I'm Black
Rest
Thought.
in peace.
Sean, yeah, my first hip-hop show I ever went to, I was 15 years old. It was Sean Price. And I met him, and it changed my life. That really made me, like, it was Sean Price, a young Reef the Lost Cause, Vinny Paz. Like, it was like a real, it was in Philadelphia, and me and you know, my girlfriend at the time, we went, and it, like I said, it changed my life. Like that was it. Now I'm going to every single hip hop show that I could go to. But you know, the people, like I said, I was huge Sean Price, Pharaoh Monch, Black Thought, just that kind of stuff. I loved MF Doom. I love that kind of stuff. So it's
like, rest in peace, Doom.
I know, crazy, man, crazy. The loss has been crazy,
man. Look, the book by S.H. Fernando. For those that have not read the book, The Chronicles of Doom, read it. It gives you everything you need to know about the history of Daniel DeMille, aka Doom. Excellent read.
Yeah, I haven't even read that. I'm gonna check that out too. Actually, I appreciate.
It's a great book. Worth the read. Worth the read.
I'm definitely checking that out. But nah, man, I just think that at the time, you know, talent was so important, and now you had to be like, and those guys were so talented and didn't, I think, very underappreciated. Everybody I said in that list, but now in today's day, I think if you have a little bit of money, it doesn't even matter what you're saying. You could be the most goofy, ridiculous dude on earth, and you have a viral moment, and now you're selling records, and you could tour off a viral moment for a long time. I think it's weird, you know, but it's yeah, that if you could pay some TikTok PR agent to get 50 influencers to make TikToks off your song, and I'm not going to name a guy, but we recorded a guy who did it, and it blew up, and he had like a hit record, made a lot of money off of it. So I think just being honest, it's not the greatest song in the world. So talent, I don't think is as important. Now, if you're talentless and immature, that's just a recipe for disaster. You're gonna be a flash in the pan. But I guess you got to have some talent. But I don't know. Some of the stuff is pretty whack.
And you know, we're talking about talent and everything. Like, there's a complaint out there for many artists, and they feel in comparison to previous eras that this era, they're not really, there's something lacking. Because I remember the other day Bow Wow said something about a lot of the music today isn't connecting with a lot of people. Like, it's missing something. Do you feel that that's the case, or do we're just looking in the wrong places?
I do. I watched that interview. I thought that was a really interesting interview, but I do agree, because I feel like now people aren't being authentic to themselves, right? Because the culture out right now, there's that brain rot stuff. So a lot of it I just can't relate to. Like, when I'm hearing some of these bars from some of these real young guys, it's just like, I don't even understand some of it. And I know that sounds old. It makes me sound old, but it's just like, I don't know. It's interesting.
No, we get it. We get it.
the brain rot stuff, like, some of it's funny. You know what I mean? You're scrolling around, you see some of that, it's funny, but it's like, when it's in a song and it's just like, I don't even know who could relate to that, but okay. But then there's also, like, I think a lot of people in this generation, there hasn't been a lot of like defining things in their lives, because these kids are like just sitting inside playing on a tablet, playing games or whatever, and they didn't live a life, it feels like. So I don't think they know who they are, and not everybody. I think there is some really, really dope younger artists, but I think that a lot of people just are not authentic. And if you're not authentic, I feel like your music tells on you, in my opinion. If you've never been through something and you're trying to talk about it in a song, I think your music tells on you, and then it's not relatable, and unless it's relatable to other people, or again, it's that flash in the pan situation where you have one song that blows up on social media and then no one ever hears from you again, because you're just not authentic. Nothing else is going to grab people but that one moment. So yeah, I mean, I do kind of think that is true.
Yeah, and there are 3 points that was on my mind, y'all, that I wanted to bring up. One of which, what you said, Steve, about that. One part of it is that a lot of people, and I saw this a couple of weeks ago. It was on I can't remember what IG site it was, but they posted the clip of the 2016 XXL cipher, freshman cipher. And a lot of people, that was I think one of the captions on it said, this is where a lot of people felt like this is where hip hop really began to die in terms of the music.
That was the one with like Lil Yachty and
yes, sir.
Designer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That one was interesting.
You don't have to be so diplomatic, Steve.
No. I mean, look, the freshman ciphers in general, some people don't know this, but we started the Marcinelle ciphers because we would watch the freshman ciphers and the BET ciphers, and it was so rehearsed. It's like you could tell that they did it 100 times, and the takes are all like, they're not lining up. It's just like a production piece. And you know, me and Ethan, who started the studio, like, we're coming from the DVD era of rap. Before we started
tell them.
Before we started the ciphers, they filmed the very last Hood Stars DVD in the studio. So it's like, we wanted to be kind of a bridge between this big production, this stage thing, and like a street cipher, like, you know, shout out to Legendary Ciphers in New York. Like, we wanted to be something in between that, right? So we did a studio production, but it's one take. It was raw. If you mess up, you can watch this we got 800 videos on YouTube. You'll see some of the dopest MCs fumble and just walk off, do the walk of shame. And I don't think that any other platform that's, you know, on the level that we were doing it was doing stuff like that. Because you had your, you had your Team Backpacks at the time when we were like at our peak. It was like us, Team Backpack, and Grind Mode. And
their
stuff is, you know, that's their thing. It's cool, but and we have people who have done all three of them. And you know, kind of let us know, like Team Backpack and Grind Mode, you got to pay to play, which is also cool. Right. I'm not mad at that, but we've never charged a single person. I've never charged a producer, a DJ, an MC. I've never charged somebody who wanted to come in and watch. Like, it's always been our give back to the community. It was for the culture, and that was one thing that set us apart. And the other thing was, like I said, it was not staged. Like, you turn the camera on, and everything I ever said on the intros was off the cuff. It was just whatever happened. We've had crazy stuff happen in the ciphers, and it just was what it was. We had the beat. Ethan didn't loop the beat right. The thing dropped off. He's like looping it live. People are still rapping a cappella. Like, we've had all sorts of stuff happen, and it's like, I think that's just a cool, thing. Plus, another thing was we never really gave a fuck about the views. It was like, right. It was like we did this thing for us, and it was fun, and it did. And because it was authentic, like especially some of the earlier ones, we'd drop a video and it would get 20,000 views without. We never paid for advertising. You know what I mean? There was no money. It was just something we did. We loved doing it, and yeah, man. So I think I went too long off your question, but yeah.
No. You're fine. No, and I think that in the second part of it, no, everything you said is absolutely was on point. Second part too, what Bow Wow was saying, and Bow Wow to me is not a bad guy. He had he had problems in terms of making those adjustments in terms of his age, because everybody saw him as still being young. Right. But what it says, I mean, Shad is in his mid-30s now, and he was part of a time with the music, and he can say this with authority because he was at a time putting out music where it really connected with the audience. So there's anybody who understands what it means about having a hit record and how it resonates with the listening audience. He is one of those people during that time. Yeah, and from that side of it, there was an organic build where it was allowed for a artist to really find their audience. What you said about how, with these labels, gone are the days of independent radio as we knew it growing up, because now they're all in bed with we're just going to say it on air because it's not a secret. All the radio stations are in bed with the record companies. Hence the playlist, which is why you hear the same songs over and over again.
Exactly.
I mean, it was still like, it was different, you know what I mean? Like, when I grew up, there was a couple radio hosts, and I'm going to say a very famous one from Philadelphia that everybody will know who I'm talking about. But if you wanted to get on, you just went up there with like $1,500 and he put you on the radio. But it is a lot different now. The game is done changed, and now independent radio, everybody kind of jumped ship and went to podcasting. So I do really appreciate what you guys are doing, and then we got a handful of them in Philadelphia, UTM Radio, and a couple other independent stations that are holding it down. But man, everybody just went to podcasting because the barrier to entry is so much lower, I feel like.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I do really appreciate what y'all are doing.
Man,
but
look,
going forward with your project, the Goblin Town. Like, tell us about it.
So Goblin Town, that's kind of like my ode to growing up in Philly. It really just speaks on what it was, and I'm not. Typically, I don't really do a ton of just like old school like boom bap stuff. I'm more like experimental with a lot of things. Like I'm sure my bio said something like alternative hip hop or something. Yeah, I just take the labels people give me. Um, but so this was something me and this guy Skinny Bones who did one of our ciphers, and it blew up. We wanted to do something together for a long time, and this was just kind of our thing that we came up with. He sent me these beats, and I got some of my really good friends, 310, Staz Black, Main the Medicine, Trey Digga. I had Ohm and Matthew Raheem, Ray Riley, Black Koniki, Street Costello. I don't know if you win was on there too. So it was just me and the guys just doing something fun. It was a little it was something fun, but some of the songs on there, man, have really been resonating with people. Like, I like seeing that. I like seeing that people are just enjoying the music.
What does it mean to you, Steve, to know that you all are still putting out dope product, and where some naysayers will say the hip hop era we grew up in is outdated and antiquated, that is still for you, what you and your crew are doing is authentic and it still has an audience?
Well, I don't genuinely, and this might sound crazy, I don't care much if it does have an audience at all. I just kind of, if you go down my catalog, every project I do sounds different, and whatever I'm feeling like at the time is what I'm going to put out. And I've never really cared if anybody liked it. And I've had some that have gone. I had a song called Rolling Stone got placed in a movie, and the streams shot up and made a couple dollars off that. And I've had songs that were a little more R&B. I've had songs that were a little more trappy. I've had songs that were a little more boom bappy, and those will all have popular songs. And then I'll have some that'll be duds, and you know what I mean. It's just I make it. One of my big reasons for making music at this point is when I'm not here anymore. I want my kids to be able to listen to my catalog and know their dad, and just like know who I was, the good, the bad, the ugly, because I never censor myself in the music. It's just whatever I'm feeling is what comes out. But I don't think you can listen to any of the stuff and not think it was authentic. It's a lot of lived experience. I know when you guys first came on here, you played the Gemini track. And that one is literally just like starting when I was coming up and just being like a broke kid trying to figure out how to make it, to one of my best friends dying and losing my mind, and still coping with all that to this day. So it's just a lot of my stuff is just like stories and lived experiences, and pretty much everybody I rock with is like I go back 15, 20 years with. So I know that they're authentically them. I never question their realness. So it's like, yeah, man, like I don't necessarily care if somebody listened to it and it wasn't for them. I think that anytime you put art out into the world, it's subjective, and I can't never be mad. If somebody thought it was corny, like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care.
In terms of and it's all about, because it's all about your vision. You're from Philadelphia, and from the perspective of it, you managed to stay out of the rap drama in terms of beefing. YBC Dole made it a point to get out there and talk crazy, made a diss track, him and a couple of his boys, and within a month all three of them were dead. What are your feelings about where the game is today, about how people are deliberately, because there's always been issues in hip hop in terms of whether they were perceived slights. Yes, I'm going to put it out there with Big and Pop, because that was not a situation that should have escalated to what it was.
Earn the shirt.
Man, shout out to Big, rest in peace. That was really something that they could have just talked that out, but a lot of people got in the way of that. But when you look at all the other elements of real beef with each other, it was like when you look at Nas and Jay, nobody was going to get hurt behind that. That was just a lot of ego. But we do have situations on Wax where, as we say in the country, them's fighting words. As an artist, as a father, as a great human being, what do you have to say to artists out here who are deliberately antagonizing those without provocation, or even if there is provocation, trying to make it a public humiliation, not understanding what's going to come behind it?
Well, I mean, so there's a couple parts to that answer. The first part is because we had the studio. You know, Marston House has always been Switzerland. I've actually recorded
neutral.
Yeah, we're neutral. I've recorded diss tracks from both diss tracks from both sides before because we're neutral and everybody knew that. Like there was never you never came in Marston House and touched anybody, and people know that. Like it's just what it is. Like we're neutral, but there have been times where I've gotten drawn into beef before. I had a guy who called one, and it's very rare. It's really hard to get me like super mad enough to like beef with you, but there was a guy who called my ex the N-word, and then he was I made sure that he got thrown off the shows, he lost deals, he got thrown off of Freestyle Friday. It was a whole I pulled every string I could. And he said a lot more
and hung him with it.
That was, and he tried to come back a little bit later. And a really good friend of mine was booking him for a show, and he didn't know about the whole thing. And I like hit him up like, "Yo, I'm just letting you know, if you book this motherfucker, like I'm coming in there, all these dudes." Like, and then he called me. He's like, "What happened?" I told him everything that happened. He was like, "Oh, nah." Plus, on top of that, he was trying to break a record for like the longest freestyle, like a Guinness Book of World Records thing. And I think Chitty Bang from Philly had it before him. And he was he wanted to do it at the studio. We gave him a crazy deal. He came, he didn't do the thing, and then like when he was going to pay, he was like, "I'm gonna smoke a cigarette," walked out and dipped. So he bounced on us for like $500, and then he posted online that, you know, like what I said, and it was like, yeah, nah. So that was like one. Every now and then, it has to be so egregious for me to beef with you. Like, I really don't care.
No, that was just disrespect. You were, whatever that dude did, he did it, and you were right for how you handled it.
right, yeah. And again, like I'm not a petty dude for the most part, so it's like for me to go that far out on you and like pull every favor I have to get you, like my man lost sponsorships. It was crazy. But as far as the overall like beef thing, man, growing up in Philly, like I always knew, like I've been in so many fist fights, and I've gotten stabbed, I've had a gun pulled on me. I literally carry a gun everywhere I go. It's like you know how serious it is when somebody says something. So it's like if you don't if you've never came from that kind of place, and you just come somewhere talking reckless, that's immaturity. It goes back to what you said about being mature in this game. Like you got to know that any human being is capable of punching you in the mouth or shooting you. So if you just come out provoking people right off the rip, you're asking for it. So it's a matter of maturity, man. Like I've seen a lot of people be way more reckless than they are now, and kind of calm down with just growing up. So I really hope that most people get the chance to grow up and see how stupid doing some of that stuff is. But Philly's a city, like I don't know if y'all remember Hitchbot, but we killed Hitchbot in like 13 hours. Like it was a robot, like beloved robot in the world that was hitchhiking across the whole world, made it all over the country, through Germany and all this stuff, got to Philly and they killed it. Like they stopped. You could look up the video, Hitchbot killed in Philadelphia. It's like, we'll kill the most beloved creature on earth like that. What do you think they're supposed to do to you if you come in here talking crazy? So you gotta know where you're at. Like I've poured all over the place. I've been in some not great neighborhoods in countries. I've been in crazy neighborhoods in Europe. I've been in crazy neighborhoods in Honduras. Like anywhere I'm going to perform at, like I'm not out here in the streets just doing crazy stuff. It's like, this is not my neighborhood. I know the rules are different here. But if you grow up and you're not just like behind the computer all day, you realize you do have to kind of take a step back and just, you're in someone else's house, take the shoes off. You know what I mean? Like don't no shoes on the couch kind of situation.
Yeah. Look. When you look at places like Tioga, Nicetown, Hunting Park, Strawberry Mansion, 6th Street, that's just the starts.
Our studio's on 9th and Dolphin, man. Like it's we've been there for a long time. So, and I've lived in every neighborhood in Philadelphia. So like I know what it is, and I've lived in every neighborhood in Philly, and I've lived in all the suburbs around Philly, and I've lived all over the place. So it's like you just got to learn if you're not from somewhere, how to just act like, you kind of just you don't want people noticing you necessarily, right? Pulling up to places and acting crazy is just like maybe one of the worst things you could ever do.
Look, Allegheny West, Germantown, Frankfurt, man. Look, tell people, man. Tell them.
Look, I've had my car window busted out right in front of the studio. I've had, it was crazy because I had one of those car safes. Like I said, we're on 9th and Dolphin. I had an old dusty Air Jordans, a basketball, and like a fitted hat, and some change in the cup. And then I had in my glove compartment, I had a gun safe, one of those ones that are bolted into it. And I had a gun in there and my passport. And I know it was the kid who did it. Busted out the window, took the Jordans, the hat, the basketball, all the change, got into the glove compartment, ripped my whole shit out to get this thing out, smashed the safe open on the street, and then didn't take any of that shit, just dumped it on my seat and left. So, so I think probably by the time he got to that part of it, it was like, oh, maybe I don't want to fuck with this. But it's man, I grew up getting my bike stolen off the porch and all that. Anybody who's from Philly will tell you you've at least had a bike stolen. You know what I mean? It's just like, it is what it is. Like, you just got to know what it's like. I mean, I grew up in like Northeast and Tiffany Creek. Like, yeah, there's parts that are great and there's parts that are, you don't want to be out there doing stupid stuff.
But one thing about it, Philly breeds champions in terms of heart. Shout out to the Eagles, 2-time champions. When you look at people who've come from there, Beanie Siegel, people BSF Tone, Freeway, the Sounds of Philadelphia, Teddy Pendergrass.
Right.
I mean, who am I missing that's coming from there as well, man? I mean,
Hall and Oates.
Yeah, Hall and Oates, Daryl Hall and John Oates, yeah. Blue Eyed Soul, yes.
We had some great music that's always come from Philly, Gamble and Huff's era. There's a lot of stuff from Philly. I mean, of course, there's like the huge art. You got your Will Smiths, and then you go into the movies. You got your Bradley Coopers and Kevin Bacons and all that stuff. So it's like
Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's from Philly.
Yep, Kevin Hart. Philly is I think Philly's a really special place as far as like culture goes, just because it really is such a small city, but it's so big and it's so diverse. Like I couldn't imagine growing up anywhere else, and I've been all over and I've lived in other places too. I was in Houston for a while teaching. Shout out my guy Bass Heavy from No Limit. He hired me out there to teach at this amazing school called Workshop Houston. And
dope.
Yeah, it was fire, man. I loved it out there. I love the kids out there, but it's such a different world. You know what I mean? Like, what really made me know it was different was like it's in the 3rd Ward, and they say it's one of the worst neighborhoods. But I mean, they got grass. Everybody got grass in their yards. So it's like, it's just different. It's like
was you near Acres? Was you near Acres Homes and the Fofo and all that? Were you on north side or south side?
No, we was up Workshop Houston. You know where Brothers Tacos is?
Okay, because I got people from there. Yeah,
Brothers Tacos. We were like right over by Brothers Tacos, and it is definitely like just like anywhere. Like you learn to. I don't know. I always felt comfortable. People would ask me like, "Oh, you're in the 3rd Ward? How you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is like." It felt like family. Like I really genuinely like loved those kids and poured like everything I could into it. And it's just I get way too like into everything I do. So it's like if I'm there, I'm like all the way in. Yeah. So I loved it out there too, but it's different. It's a different environment. You know what I mean? And I spent time out in Chattanooga and Nashville, and just like I've been all over, bro. So it's if you just kind of got to know how to act in every place, because if you were from Philly and like how I first was when you get there and you just think it's sweet somewhere because they got grass, which obviously I'm joking, but you'll learn about yourself real quick. So just you got to know the rules, man.
Man, like they say, in every hood there's a ghetto, and there are certain places where the action is going to be a little more intense. I mean, out here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, I'm Norfolk born and raised. And there, I tell anybody, you know, not that it's a flex to have that distinction being on TV and this, that for crimes that happen. I'm like, Norfolk, there are certain places you going downtown, Young Park, Park Place, shit off Tidewater Drive, certain place you just don't know. And they got grass in the front yard, but you do not wanna, but you do not want to.
I know that. Area.
Yeah, you just got to be careful, man. And it's about respect wherever you go. For you to have the extraordinary experience, the well-traveled sojourns, the wisdom that comes from it, to be able to impart that wisdom to the children, how gratifying is that for you?
I mean, I think it's tough because, like, you know, I want to not have my kids have to go through a lot of the stuff that I went through, and not have to make a lot of the mistakes that I've made. But also, I do genuinely think making mistakes and going through hardship is character building. I feel like if you've been sheltered from all this stuff your whole life, then you kind of are the kind of person who would go somewhere and act crazy. You know what I mean? So I do try my best. Like, I'm always very real with my kids, especially my daughter. She's 6, and I've been, you know, I never really like censor myself. We have very real conversations about death. She's experienced loss in her life already. Her grandmother passed, and just, there's been a handful of people. Pretty much my brother, he had committed suicide, and I was very, very, very sad about it. You know what I mean? So she had to see me dealing with that. And so it's been, she's been around and seen a lot of feeling. I'm not one who can really hide my feelings. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeves in a lot of ways. So yeah, I try to just keep it as honest with them as possible. And and try not to like sugarcoat things very much. Like I'll be very real. Like don't run off in the store because somebody might take you and like kill you. Like somebody might do terrible things to you. She'll ask why. Like, why can't I run down in this part of the store? It's like, because somebody might snatch you up and do something terrible to you and we'll never see you again. Or,
and daddy is going to have to go do something crazy.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think people like try to protect their kids from the world. And I'm not saying that's wrong because I don't think I'm the perfect parent or anything, but I just want them to know that what the world really is. Like, we live in a crazy, crazy time. I mean, you can't turn on the TV without seeing something crazy. You can't look through your phone without seeing something crazy. So I just feel like sugarcoating it is just not preparing them. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
What do you see in terms of how hip hop is marketed today that is different from what it is back then?
I think today hip hop is really marketed as pop music. It's so hip hop especially has become, one of the most predominant musics in the country and the world. So hip hop, and now also you're getting so much more crossover stuff. You're getting the Shaboozys doing the country hip hop. You're getting, Lil Nas X doing the country or Old Town Road or whatever. You're getting so much crossover between hip hop, country, rock, pop, soul, R&B, like even a little bit of punk coming in there, and genres being so much more on the forefront in the mainstream than they ever were before. I think that hip hop really is just the new pop, and that's how they market it. Of course, you got your Griseldas, and you got people who still spit, and that might not be considered pop, but you got people who can really rap that are. I think J. Cole can really rap. I think Kendrick can really rap. I think even the dude Russ, I think he actually has bars.
Russ is nice. Let's just put it out there. Let's stop acting like that boy can't rap. Russ got some skills.
He's not. He is nice, but he's a pop star. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think that you being a pop star means you can't rap anymore. When it did, years ago. I think years ago that was looked at as kind of like a stain on your rap sheet, But now it's like I don't think people care as much anymore.
I would put this may be a crazy comparison. Oh, I was gonna say I would think this might be a crazy comparison where Eminem is to me the epitome of you know, he's a white rapper who embodies the culture in every sense of the word in terms of authenticity. I think Russ is probably the pop Eminem in the sense of Russ understood, he mastered that side of understanding what will sell at a broad level. But both of them are equally just ferocious on a microphone. They just have different approaches in terms of their musical styles. But both are well-deserved in the credit that they get, and they haven't sold their souls to get it.
Right. I mean, I'm probably gonna this. If you clip this one, it'll probably go viral. I've never been a big M fan. I think M is one of like the technically like greatest like rappers who can put words together just like masterfully. Just like the lyrical content never sat with me.
Right.
And I know, like, I say that I've had people argue with me for days and like send me every song. I listened to it though. I've studied. Like I've listened to everything from what was the first one, the Slim Shady John, all the way up till the new stuff. And like I said, I think like there's not many people who can put words together like him, but lyrically it's never like sat with my soul. Honestly, like I think Russ has had some stuff that sat with me a little. I know this sounds crazy, so I'm probably going. No, I'm getting canceled in the community right now. But
stop it. No. No, M is a different breed because M's rapping comes from a different place in terms of how because M is one of those people that lets his innermost thoughts be pervasive in his rhymes. Right, so right. he said some stuff over the years. I mean, we heard songs like Stand, which was a genius track. We hear songs like Kill You. Lord, I mean, there's so many songs about his ex-wife and his mother that are just like alone, and we're like, but we get it. But technically,
storytelling.
Yeah, but in terms of the technical proficiency, in terms of bars, in terms of he's top 5 in terms of composition easily.
Well, I agree
because not many artists can do it at the level he does. When you go on a Jay-Z track like he did on Renegade, and you kind of go past Jay on that, yeah, you did something.
I definitely think he's had great stuff. Like I think his verse on What's the Difference is crazy.
Yeah.
He's definitely had like some great verses. And again, it's really just because, when I really listened to a lot of stuff. Like I was big when I first really was getting into hip hop, like DMX. I loved State Property. Like Beans was like always on play for me.
Yeah.
And then again,
great guy. Oh
yeah. Thankfully I got to record him because Jazz Fresh was on my label, and we're recording Jazz Fresh's album that he did with Eric Sermon, and Beans came in and did a feature, which is criminally underappreciated track. It's on YouTube and everything, but really dope. But yeah, so Beans, the Pharaoh Monches, the Black Thoughts, like all this stuff is what I'm listening to. So lyrically, I've always kind of fell into a different thing. So like the more I want to say like horrorcore kind of stuff.
Necro, Esham, all of them.
That was not ever like super my twist. You know what I mean? Like it's cool and I appreciate it. Like I liked, I definitely liked some Gravediggers tracks and some stuff like that. But it's never been like I'm not putting that stuff on as much. So M, who definitely was heavily influenced by the Eshams coming from Detroit, I think he, again, incredibly talented. I just don't often put on stuff with him on it.
Understood.
It's fair. I mean, that's fair because his music is like a preference.
Right.
You gotta be in a certain mood to vibe with this stuff, and that's fine, man. It's like it ain't stuff you could really just ride out to or put on at a party or whatever. It's more so stuff that you gotta dissect. And that's what some of these rappers are when they are lyricists. You gotta appreciate. You gotta more so listen to it in a different vein.
I agree. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just like I've said this on the show before in terms of when we compare artists in terms of who's best, because a lot of times people want to measure success by celebrity. I would say in the modern era, Jay-Z is the most commercially successful. I would say Fabulous is behind Jay in terms of popularity, in terms of still being relevant. When people say, well, what about Nas? I'm like, well, Nas is in a whole different category because Nas is one of the elite lyricists, but Nas is not a person who makes music for pop sensibilities. And that's no slight to Jay or Fab because their music fits that fly, that fly boy, high life, glossy, living a good life shit. There's nothing wrong with it because they're great at what they do. They're legendary. But Nas is a MC that you have to really understand that while Nas is also that fly dude with a lot of fly shit, Nas's depth is so much more deeper when he rhymes. And
I agree.
And that's why with some people, they're not going to get certain they're not going to get Nas unless you are a real hip hopper. You can't really appreciate Nas for his genius. And I have all of his albums, even the ones that some people didn't like. Yes, I have Nostradamus. No, I do not think it's a trash album like everybody says it is.
I gave that album back the day I bought it.
Nah, man, you can't get that's crazy, bro. Nah, man.
Hey, I liked it.
Look, to me, it's like I think because I'll see that like anytime I'm doing a song that's more like a poppy or something, like I could tell like when my wife is vibing with it a lot more. But like if I have songs that are just like all bars, it gets skipped in the house. So it's like my wife is more into like Beyonce and like more poppy stuff, right? So it's like I know that the songs that are more just like bars or like a story straight through, that might not be the one that's gonna like take off. But with Nas, it's like, one of the greatest like wordsmiths in my opinion, top. Yeah. So it's like that's not for everybody. Same thing. I've mentioned Black Thought a handful of times. Like Black Thought, especially if you listen to those records he did with Premier, they're crazy. Like nobody knows about them. Like people don't even know that those records exist. And there's some of the craziest rhyme schemes, some of the craziest bars, some of the best storytelling you ever heard. And I think it even brought out some of the craziest bars from other people. There's people on those records that you just wouldn't even think like had bars like that go in, because when you're next to somebody that great, you just got to go in. So it's almost a separate category, like you said. Like I really agree with that a lot.
When I think about when I really became a Root fan, also from Philly, and shout out to Morris, shout out to Son of the 215 as well. Another esteemed Philly representative.
That's my man right there.
That's man. Morris is a good dude, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Tell him I said what's up if you talk to him. He was on our very first cipher, man.
You still got his contact?
Yeah, I talk to him every now and then. I did
good dude. We had him on the show. Shout out to Hennessy Kev. We had him on the show a couple of years ago. Handles business for all the Rockefeller reunion shows. Kevin Sutton. Get his book, Dreams Don't Work Unless You Do. Great guy. We shamelessly plug people we love and respect here all the time, and we will keep doing that. When going back to Black Thought, when I heard Illadelph Half-Life, because I knew about the roots from Organics to Do You Want More, but I truly became a fan of them when I heard Illadelph Half-Life, especially when I heard Concerto of the Desperado. Right. And I was like, wow.
you know what's crazy about the Roots too is everybody in the Roots was great. Like Malik B.
Rest in peace,
Malik. Man, he was on one of our ciphers too. We recorded some songs with him that never came out, and we've been begging to let us put those out because they are so. I really hope something happens with those. I think Ask made the beats, and they're just tied up in, I guess, like a music business legal custody battle on who gets the rights to put them out, and it's very unfortunate. But one of the nastiest dudes off top. Just insane. Everybody in there was crazy though. Truck North, just the whole crew, man. The whole crew just nasty.
Rozelle, can't forget Rozelle, man. A human beatbox.
Very underappreciated, and I think a lot. I feel I call it the Philly curse. because I think people get like on the cusp of being great, and then Beans and Jay beef, or Meek Mill and Drake beef, or what I mean. It's like you get on the cusp of being like the greatest, and something pops off and ruins it. It's the Philly curse, in my opinion. But a lot of people underappreciate it.
We got to throw Cassidy in there too. Shout out to Cass. We had him on the show some years back. Great guy.
Yeah, Cassidy. When I was growing up, everybody was Cassidy's cousin. So
yeah, but I when you look at how it was, what are your opinions also too in print media? Back in the day, Rap Pages, Murder Dog, Blaze, Double XL, and of course The Source. Right On magazine. Shout out to John Blasingame, who was the first who had the first black publishing house to put out hip hop magazines. How important is it for artists to still be in print media, and how important is print media to the culture today still?
I love print media. In the studio, I'm in a bunch of magazines we have framed up. So anytime I was in one, we framed it up from all types of, from everything, Decibel, Maximum Rock and Roll. I'm in a ton of stuff for different projects, from hip hop to punk rock. And I love it. I think it's a really cool thing. And I think for artists, I think it gives you something to take pride in. So I think it's a really great thing for you to do. And it's great for your resume. Unfortunately, I don't know too many people at a lot of these magazines now are really putting a lot more money into their online content too. They've had to adapt. So it's like, I think that it's unfortunately kind of a dying media. Even with my book, a lot of people were telling me not even to get print, just go straight to like digital books. And I was like, nah, man, I can't even read it. I hate reading like a Kindle. There's no way I'm doing it. Like I got to hold it in my, you know what I mean? Like I like having the record. I like having the CD. I like having the tape. I like having the book. I like having the comic book. I as you can see behind me, I got books, CDs, records, freaking toys. Like I like physical things. Maybe I'm a pack rat or something, but
no, it's okay, because we have preached the gospel on this show. Me and King started this over 10 years ago. I've been part of it for the past 9.5, and we've been consistent. Get the prints, especially with what's going on. Especially when we look at what's happened with certain songs, with certain artists, like with YG's Meet the Flockers, that line he had about robbing the Asians. And then that got him kicked off the digital. That song got kicked off the digital platform. When Ice Cube had No Vaseline, when he had the line, because you let a Jew break up my crew, then they ready to put that off.
Kanye just went through it too. He can't have that shit online anywhere. That is which I mean, it's crazy, but people have their thoughts on it.
Yeah, but it's like, but the thing is that when you're dealing with it from a perspective of, and I could be mistaken, but I don't even think a lot of 3 6 Mafia stuff is online.
No, it's not, or any of the mixtape stuff for anybody.
Yeah, so I mean, if you go ahead.
Oh, my bad, bro. I was saying it used to all be on DatPiff and stuff like that, but that died too. So,
but I have some of 3 6 stuff on cassette and vinyl. But if you go online and you look at how much some of that stuff costs, oh my God!
Right. I think you're right though. We used to me and Ethan, when we first started the studio, we were both like super into 3 6. I remember just driving around dumping late night tip everywhere.
Man,
3 6 was tough.
Oh, that was the first 3 6 song I heard. I was in love with. I love that track.
That's a great one. But no, I don't think any of that stuff is online. I think only the hits. I could be wrong, but I feel like you're right on that.
But a lot of that stuff in terms of a lot of albums, in terms of the physicals, like shit, man. I think the Nas, the original 1994 Nas Illmatic cassette, I've seen that thing go online for like $400. And don't even get me started on the original Purple tape with Raekwon. If you can find that Purple, I saw somebody just selling the tape by itself for $130. This is not even the insert in the case. This is just the tape itself.
I've seen some of I used to work at a record shop when I was a young boy, but I've seen some of Schoolie D's records sell for a ton of money. I saw some Cool G rap records sell for a ton of money. So, there's definitely still a huge market. People love vinyl. I think it's the best way to listen to music, honestly.
Yeah,
But,
it is.
I do think vinyl's having a little bit of a resurgence because now a lot of these companies have figured out different ways to press them that are cheaper. So that you got guys doing lathe cutting now or lathe cutting, and it's a lot cheaper and you can do a smaller run on it. So I'm seeing people getting vinyl again. And I try to put vinyl out whenever I can. And I'll do cassettes too. Like I love cassettes. We did if you're familiar with Carnage the Executioner, we put out a 500 copy red cassette tape with him that was crazy. Like I don't know if there's any left anywhere, but yeah, man, like I love putting out stuff like that because it's just different. And we never put that online at all. It's only on the cassette. So it's something special.
Shit, when you think about it, with Kendrick's first project, Youngest Head Nigga in Charge, what he did, and you literally cannot get that unless you were in Compton because it was a high school mixtape. You literally cannot get that unless you were there.
Right. Yeah.
And this is before Section 80. So I mean, it's just crazy to think about in terms of coming up in the game, and when we listen to when we see stuff that we were just thinking was just something to listen to, and now these have become souvenir pieces that are a timepiece, a time capsule, a listening time capsule of where we were in the culture. And it shows how much what people try to dismiss as just a fleeting fad has become a worldwide universal phenomenon that has impacted so many beyond measure.
Right.
Put respect on hip hop's name, man, please. Yeah, I tell anybody.
Sure.
Hey yo, we about to probably go ahead and wrap it up because I want to go ahead and be able to clip this interview in several pieces, because that's how StreamYard be doing it, man. But we want to thank you once again for chopping it up with us and joining us.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to MJ for making this connection happen. And you care to tell people what?
Yeah, first off, offline, if y'all hit me with a place to send something, I'll send y'all a package with some hard copies of things. But
absolutely.
You can find me on you can find me anywhere, man. Like my website is letsgoguy.com, and that kind of has like a little bit about me. I think it has a link to the wiki page and some music credits I've worked on. You can get me on all social media as just Steve Sxaks, SXAKS. I'm one of the most Googleable people on earth, I feel like. So if you Google me, I pop up. And then you can go grab the book, Invasion of the Punk Rockers Who Drink Blood. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Borders. I tell people to get it on Amazon so you can help me beat the corporate demons in their algorithm game. So that's where it helps me the most. And it's cheaper to do that than buy it on my website. I'm not going to lie. And then, you can get Goblin Town. Right now, it's on Bandcamp because we're doing the Bandcamp thing before we put it to streaming. So just head over to Bandcamp. If you look up Goblin Town and my name, it'll pop right up. And I got links to it everywhere. I got lyric videos up on my page right now. So yeah, man, hit me up. Let's connect. I'll build with. I like building with people. I like talking. So hit me up.
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all for real though. My bad. I really appreciate.
No,
y'all.
you good.
Shout out to MJ too. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. This has been absolutely exhilarating and educational and exciting. You're welcome back anytime, Steve. This has been spectacular. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
All right. So on that note, we about to be up out of here. You can catch us tomorrow night. We got another show lined up. We'll be back same off the cup time, same off the cup channel. You heard?
Yep. Peace, y'all. We out.